channel, aka Economic Explorer. It's just a name I've created as I've started to build this whole new thing out. It's not ideal, my background at the moment. My head's right in the middle of it, but I'll start to redesign that as we go. But really wanted to create the second video in the series, really to help expats. Me being an expat, as I said in my introduction video, I've been in Australia for 12 years, and I'm getting to that age where I'm obviously thinking retirement, what's next in life, and one of the things expats need to be mindful of is their UK state pension. So whether you're in Australia as an expat or the US as an expat or wherever you might be, if you've paid into your national insurance contributions or paid into the UK system, like I have for quite a few years since before leaving for Australia, you're entitled to a UK state pension. So how do you understand, or how do you get a record of where you stand in terms of your state pension? Well, I'm going to share a few links and I'll put them in the descriptions. And just to be clear on this is not financial advice. Nothing that I do on this channel is about financial advice. It's just about information to help you, whether it's your pension or my experiences with my, whether it's my state pension or my Australian super. None of this is financial advice. It's just really to give an understanding of how I've navigated through these different topics. But this one is all about the state pension in the UK, and it's really based around how many years you have paid into the system. The legislation says from 2016 onwards, anyone that making pensionable age from 2016 onwards, it's all about how many years you have paid into the system. So I did my own research, and the first form you have to complete is an NI 38 form to obviously understand what your position is in terms of what you've paid in already versus what you need to pay in to bring yourself up to date to give you full state pension when you make the pensionable age, which currently in the UK is, I believe 67. That has over time gradually crept up, and that obviously from a legislative point of view can always change. They can always move the goalposts and make it older and older as we move down the road. But currently it's 67. And as I said, legislation says anyone making pensionable age after 2016 has to have made, I think it's 33 years contributions of national insurance contributions to qualify for a full state pension. And this NI 38 form is the first form you need to complete to find out where you stand. Now, for me and for my wife, we've been in Australia close to 12 years, close to 13 years. It'll be 13 years in February and April, respectively. But that NI 38 form is to really help you understand where you stand in terms of your contributions. We've done that, followed the procedure. It takes around 3 to 4 weeks to get that notification of where you're at. But I basically found out that I'd paid in for 24 years and my wife had paid in for 13 years. But regardless of whether you've made the full contribution, which is 33 years, anything above 10 years, you qualify for some sort of state pension. So for me, 24 years, I've already qualified for state pension. Now, I don't have full state pension because I haven't done the 33. My wife's the same. She's only contributed for 13 years, but she's above the 10 years. So at least you get some sort of state pension, even if you don't pay anything else into it. Then it comes down to the point, once you understand what you've paid in, do you want to pay in what you're short? Because what the result of the NI 38 form is that it will provide you with a list of what you need to pay by a set period of time to keep yourself up to date with where to the 33-year target and the full state pension. So I guess a few things come to mind at that point. Okay, I've done above 10 years. In my case, I've done 24 years, so I'm entitled to a state pension regardless of whether I pay in any more at this point. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I have a choice. I either can pay in the extra 9 years that I need to get to that full state pension, or I can pay that money that I'd need to give to the government into my own private pension or into some sort of other investment. And that's obviously a personal thing, and you make that decision. My thought process was around, okay, I've done 24 years. I'm entitled to a state pension already. Do I want to play into a black hole, which is the UK state pension system? And bearing in mind, once you've paid that money in, you're not getting it out again. It goes into a black hole, right? So you need to be very clear around, do I want to pay in or not? Because once I've paid in, I'm not getting that back out. And as part of that NI 38 form, they will detail what class you're in, class 2 or class 3. Now, class 3 is when you left the UK, were you in full-time employment? So, for example, with my wife, she wasn't in full-time employment when she left or wasn't making NI contributions. So she fell into class 3, where when I left, was in full-time employment. So I fell into class 2. The difference is the amount of contributions you've got to make moving forward to top up your contribution to get you to a full state pension. So I know there's a lot of wording around what I've spoken about here, but I'll put the links in the chat. So it's the NI 38 form to understand where you're at. That, as part of that process, you will need to create a Gov Gateway ID account. And at that point, you can do everything online, right? You can you can view what your state pension looks like today. And also you will have the details of the payments you need to make to bring you up to full state pension by the retirement age. So for example, with me, I'm 53. I'll be able to currently, with current legislation, take pension at 2038. And I have between now and then to top up if I want to. My personal opinion is I'm not going to top up. I'm just going to take what I'm entitled to already, and I'm going to push that money that I would potentially give to the state government in the UK or the UK government and push that into private pension or other investments. And I'm going to do other YouTube videos around what that looks like, what I'm doing, what my personal pension looks like, what my allocations are like, what other investments I'm doing based on geopolitical, social, economic situations of the world, because the world is in a difficult spot at the moment. And how does that look in terms of your own wealth preservation and your own future proofing of your current financial situation, whatever that might be. So that's really what I wanted to cover today, was to provide you with some info around that. So it's the NI 38 form. What I'm quickly going to do is share my screen. Oh, just turn my camera off. Didn't want to do that. But this is the form you want to be looking at. Social Security Abroad, NI 38 form. And this will take you through and guide you through applying to pay your voluntary national insurance contributions for the period that you've been overseas. Because while you've been overseas, you're not making those contributions, and to top yourself up, you need to find out what that looks like and then make a decision as to whether you're going to pay or not. If you fall into the category of not having paid in for 10 years, you don't qualify for any state pension until you get to paid in for 10 years. After 10 years, like for example with me, I'm 24 years, I'm entitled to a state pension regardless. It certainly won't be full state or full state pension in the UK, but it's certainly something moving forward. So this is the NI 38 form that you need to complete. Once you've completed that, and it can take 3 to 4 weeks to come through, then it's up to you to make the decision as to where you go. Really keen to get your feedback on how it's gone for you if you've applied using the NI38 form. If you haven't and you're keen to understand a little bit more, happy to have a conversation with you. Reach out to me, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and we can have a conversation, right? The whole point of me creating this channel is to really create a community of like-minded people is wanting to improve their financial situation. And this is just one video of hopefully a few that I'm going to make. But for now, yeah, this is just something I wanted to cover off with you guys. And let me know what you think. You may need some more information. If you do, just reach out, message me. But certainly from a channel point of view, click the like, click the subscribe button, and we can take it from there. But for now, good to catch up, and hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you.